Welcome back to another episode of Life Between the Young. I am Sid, and if this is your first time, welcome. Like I said, Life Between the Young. You can check out my other episodes, in any platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Google Podcasts, etc. But I hope you guys are having a great day so far. You're trying to stay warm. It's a new year, and apparently this whole country is getting smothered with cold air and snow. So you guys stay warm out there and just be safe. But as you have read by today's topic of the episode, um, what have I learned? No. I am I am losing it today. That is very wrong. Uh, Questions to ask yourself and in 2024. Um, as you know, we've learned a lot. We've made a lot of mistakes. We grew a lot, and we also failed a lot in the year 2023, and that's with every year, right? But every year is a chance to become better. And here is, I guess, questions I would like to ask myself, and you can ask yourselves as well, um, to make sure that you will have a better year. This coming up, 2024. Um, but I mean, first thing first is honestly, what have you learned about yourself? And like I said, I'm asking myself this: what have I learned about myself in 2023, because life is like it's like a constant journey of getting to know yourself, right? Like you will never stop learning about yourself. That is one thing guaranteed. And it's a blessing, right? Because it's just a blessing to elevate, and you can see the changes of your life as you progress. You're not the same as you once were 5 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, 2 months ago. We humans, we evolve so quickly, right? And it's a beautiful thing to just see, right? So you need to ask yourself, what what have I done? What can I do differently, and how can I better myself in order to have a great, successful year? Depending on whatever you want to do, whatever you want to go, whatever you want to achieve, whatever it is. What have you learned about your mistakes, about yourself, right? In 2023, the more you know about yourself, the more you'll accept who you are, right? And I feel like that it speaks volume, because if you try to neglect or try to ignore who your true self is, how can you ever grow as a person? How can you ever elevate, right? Because you can't, because you're stuck in this other fantasies like, this is who I am 20 years ago, so therefore I need to be the same person. No, that is no. Because you don't have the same mindset as you did 20 years ago, so therefore you cannot be the same person, right? So you need to learn from that and say, how can I improve from here? You should want to improve. You don't want to stay stagnant. That is no, that's not good. We don't need that. That's negative energy. We don't need that in 2024. And it still feels so surreal that we're in 2024, 2024. That is weird. 5 years ago, it felt like it was 2014. I mean, obviously it was 10 years ago, but I'm just saying, like, it just feels like 2014 doesn't feel like a long time ago, but it really was. I know it's off topic, but I was just resonating with that. It's like, man, 2014 was 10 years ago. I was 12 years old, living my best life, worrying about nothing at all, just hanging with the friends, just vibing, bro. And now it's all gone. But that's a little off topic. I apologize about that. But man, I was just reminiscing about our past, and nostalgia, man. It's crazy. 2024. Um, but a second question you need to ask yourself is, what risks? Sorry for my list, but what risks was I afraid to take in 2023? Right? And why were you afraid to take those? Maybe it was a new job, or quitting your job without having a new one, right? Or dropping everything, flying to another state, another country, trying to start all over, but you have that fear of, what if things don't work out? What if I become homeless? What if it was all a mistake, right? And you just you're just in that mentally bubble of like negative thinking, right? But taking risks can be a beautiful thing, right? I mean, we're humans. It's kind of in our nature to do that, right? Because how do I say this? Fear is supposed to promote survival, right? But if you aren't careful, it can block your dreams. So in other words, if you aren't, obviously we're all going to be scared when we do it, but if you don't have some sort of leap of faith, right, to go go get whatever you want, it can not only hurt you, but it can also set you back. And then somebody else, while you seeing somebody else that's wanting the same thing you got, and they have it, and then you doubt yourself, like, oh, how did they get that? How did they do that? How did they reach that? How did they achieve that? Because they took that risk. Yeah, they were scared. We're all scared. But guess what? You gotta have faith, good or bad. You got to have faith in you, not only just for yourself, man. You gotta have that faith. Because if you don't have that faith, you're just gonna let it go by. You're gonna be on your deathbed, and it's too late. So take that risk. Ask yourself, what risk was I afraid to take? Whatever that may be. It could be singular, it could be plural, whatever those risks were. Excuse my lisp. Ask yourself, why was I afraid to do it? And then you learn from why you were afraid to do it, and how can you maneuver through those excuses, right? Maneuver through those excuses to try to get to that goal of yours, right? Um, and the reason you should make this effort is to examine the risks you were afraid to take. But now that that came out of my mouth, that really didn't make sense because I really just repeated what I said earlier. Forget that last part. Just just forget that. But if you understand why you're afraid to take the action, you can also arrange your things to be bolder in the future. So understanding the why can help you be bolder in the future. Because at the end of the day, what we're doing right now is preparing ourselves for the future, whether you like it or not. Me setting up this podcast, me, taking notes, me having a notebook, a notepad, setting up this microphone, setting up the computer, make sure everything's checking. That's setting up for my future. It's one step closer to a successful future. You see what I mean? I'm preaching over here, but y'all ain't listening. But anyway, a third question. The third question. By the way, there's 10. I don't know if I said that earlier. There's 10 of them. So we're going to be here for a minute. Um, but the third one is, what activities wasted most of my time? We have a lot of stupid habits, a lot of unproductive habits that we may like doing, but it's not really benefiting us, right? Whether it's too much time on social media, too much time, uh, overthinking, too much time with school. Well, school is not bad, but if you're letting it consume your life, it could be. But or it could be making too much TikToks, right? Well, I guess that's really part of social media. Or it could be habits that are hard to, let go of, right? Personal habits. I'm not gonna say what, but for those that are listening, pretty sure you know what you have got going on, and you know what activities is wasting your time. But what can you do? Acknowledge what activities you've been doing, and how can you get rid of the thing that is holding you back? How can you get rid of it? How can you let go of it? Obviously, it's going to be hard. Obviously, it's going to be challenging, and obviously, it's going to be difficult, and it's going to seem mostly impossible. The key word, it's not. It's possible. You just gotta put in that little work to get rid of those habits and activities that really didn't benefit you. It could be a girl, right? It could be a man. You trying to pursue them, and they weren't pursuing you back. You just wasted a whole year right there for no reason. You just wasted so much breath and air and energy to something that wasn't reciprocating it back. And for what? Depression? No, come on. Let's not do that. So let's get rid of these activities. First of all, you need to acknowledge what activities is making you feel like this and what's making you wasting your time. Then you need to approach it as to what can I do to better myself at it. Maybe you don't have to quit the activity. Maybe you can reduce it. But if you know you can't reduce it, just quit it altogether. If you need help, go get help. Family, a friend member, an associate. I don't care who. Just figure out what activities was wasting your time the most in 2023. And you can look back at 2022 or 2021. It's a cycle. You were doing the same things back then. How can I improve it now? It's a new year, right? Come on, we got this now. We got this. Time is the only resource you can't reclaim once it's gone. We will never get tomorrow. I mean, I'm stupid. We will never get yesterday. We will never get last year. We will never get 10 years ago again. We need to cherish this as much as possible. Money can buy a lot of things, but it cannot buy time. It can may prolong your time, but at the end of the day, we're all going to be leaving this earth one day. So whether you like it or not, you're going to have to come to that reality. It's a little off topic, but it's the truth. And the truth shall set you free. Amen. Amen. So definitely, you guys need to check into that. And the fourth question, and I feel like honestly, this is the most important one to me, that I personally resonate with. Who could I count on the most this year, and how can I return the favor? I don't care who it is. You could be a stranger for all I care. Who helped you the most this year? Who could you count on when you need somebody to lean on this year? Who were there for you? Who's there for you when nobody else was? You're thinking thin, right? Whoever that was, you must have gratitude. It is the most underrated hack of a happier, more fulfilling life. And I can 100% agree with that. How can you return that favor? I don't know what that may look like for you. You do not know what that will look like for me. You need to figure out. I want to say figure out. Just do right by them. Stay loyal. If they need help, help them. Not because they helped you. I mean, that's one of the reasons, but you shouldn't do it because they helped you. You should do it because you will want to. Because you're the type of person. Because it is the right thing to do, right? You don't want to do it just to do it. You want to do it out of your heart. That's the reason why they did it for you, out of their heart, not because they wanted something in return. It's a privilege to receive help, right? It is a privilege to receive help because they didn't have to. They could have just watched you struggle. They could have just watched you give up on yourself. They could have watched you just live in fear and not take that first step. But no, out of the kindness of their heart and their soul, they wanted to. So the least you can do is give some a return. Just out of respect. Just out of respect. I highly, highly encourage you to do that. But that person for me, hopefully he's not listening. But I really hope he's not listening to this episode specifically. But it's my uncle, 100% my uncle. This man has, I don't know, man. This guy, I mean, pisses me off sometimes. But this guy, he has been there since day one, man. Since I was 5 years old. I don't know. I really don't remember when I met him, what age, because you don't really remember a lot of things where you're younger, that young face. But as far as I can remember, he's been there for me, financially, physically, spiritually, everything, man. It's kind of hard to express it, just there for you, just as a person. Not obviously, family's going to be there for each other, but it was just more than that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Hopefully he's not listening to this, but I do appreciate him very much. And one day, as I'm currently working on returning that favor, he doesn't know that, but we're going to get there one day, man. We will. But fifth question you need to ask yourself: what can I learn to make myself better in 2024? It could be a new language. It could be going to college. It could be picking up a side gig, a side hustle. It could be, I don't know, anything or anyone, right? Or getting a certification, or getting that new job, or going for that new job. Starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel, creating a TikTok. TikTok is crap, but it does have some benefits to it. I'm not going to lie. Um, but it's a quote by Malcolm X. Love it to this day. RIP, by the way. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Let me say that one more time. Let me say that one more time. And let me slow it down for y'all. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Mm, 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 mm. Basically, what he is saying right now, we're just going to put this in predicament. Right now, 2024, you could be preparing to grow this tree, right? Find the right soil, find the right environment, right? Plant this seed, right? Give it time to grow, water it, nature it, nurture it, I meant. Have patience with it. And in its future, it will bestow fruit, shelter, shade, nutrients, home for many animals, not only for them, but only for you. So if you put in the work now, put in the time, put in the grind, even on your off days, even when you don't feel like it, each step you're taking right now is a step closer for you preparing for your future. So I'll highly recommend, don't wait till tomorrow. Don't say, oh, tomorrow's a better week, I'm going to start now. Oh, I have more free time tomorrow, I start tomorrow. Or I start next week. Do it now. Because if you keep saying that, I'm going to start next week, I'm going to start tomorrow, it's never going to happen. You're going to procrastinate. It's going to keep happening, keep happening, and keep happening. It never gets done. And then boom, 2024 flew by. You what? You did nothing. Do it now. Just start now. Get it out the way. It's going to suck at first. Of course it is. That's with everything. Just get it out the way. You'd be glad you did it. Trust me. You will. Uh, but the sixth one. We're almost there. We're almost there, guys. Trust me, we're almost there. 6. If I could time travel, or you, we're just going to put this in second person. If you could time travel into the future 1 year from now, what advice would you give your future self? Right? And it's kind of hard to give your future self advice. And that's easy to give your past self advice, but it's kind of hard to give your future self advice. But as Leonard I. Sweet once said, the future is not something we enter. The future is something we create. Like I said before, previously, in the last question, we are currently creating our future, right? So if we could go 1 year later, it's 2025. Honestly, I would tell myself, just keep going. That's all you need. They don't even need to know what that means or the context behind it. Just tell them. Keep going. 2 simple words. Keep going. And that is all the fuel you need. For me personally, I can't speak for everybody. Let me rephrase that. That is all the fuel I need. Right? That's all you need. That's all you need. What must I let go of to create space for growth? It's question number 7. What must I let go of to create space for growth? What negative, I don't care if it's a person, a thing, an activity, a habit, environment, anything. What do I need to let go of to create room for self-improvement? And if it's a relationship, let it go. It might be the best relationship of your life. But if they're holding you back and not creating room for you to grow or not wanting you to grow, let them go. It's not for you. It's not your time. We don't have a lot of time, but you have time. Let me say that one more time. You don't have a lot of time, but you have time. Physically, we as humans, the average lifespan is 76 years. So we don't have a lot of time, right? But we also do have time. We choose to make time for the things we want to do. But then we say we don't have time for something else, right? No, no. We as humans, we pick and choose what we want to do or what we want to spend our time with. Whether it's watching TV all day or, you know, hanging out with friends, or you could be doing that instead of going to the gym, right? You could use that same time hanging out with your friends, watching TV, be going to the gym, reading the book, getting productive, studying for a test, just doing something productive, right? And you need to figure out what negative habits do I have. I've said this in the previous questions. They kind of all correlate together as one, but they kind of differentiate at the same time. But what is taking up your space in your daily life that is, keeping you from being the person that you were meant to be? Letting go wasn't easy since we known each other. Wait, where does this come from? I'm sorry, guys. I was just reading this that popped up on my TV. It's kind of ironic, but anyway, um, don't let others hold you back. I don't care. Even your best friend. I'm not saying get rid of your best friend, but like, let your best friend know, hey, we've been friends for a long time, but like something's not feeling right. You're not growing. You're not elevating. You're just stuck in the same place. And you love them, right? But you don't want to be there with them. And that can sound harsh from the get go. But over time, they'll understand. And if they don't, they're truly your best friend to begin with, or they're just holding you back because they knew that they couldn't do anything for themselves. Let me preach. Let me stop preaching. Let me stop preaching. But seriously, guys, you need to create space for your own growth. That is like, if not the most important question on here. No. The second most important question on here. Like, please do that. Question number 8. What is one habit I can adopt to enrich my life next year? Now, we talked about old habits and negative habits and habits you need to let go of to improve yourself. Now we're going to talk about what's a habit that you can adopt to improve yourself, or to just enrich your life. Because in the end, we are creatures of habit. We are the product of our environment. We are just how humans are. We adapt to what we know. And we try to cancel out foreign things or things we haven't heard of, right? But I feel like you need to be adventurous this year. I feel like you need to step out of your comfort zone and do something different that will help you enrich your life. Whether it's that's learning how to communicate better, or learning how to pronunciate words, or reading, or becoming anything, like anything, man. What can you do to adopt? What I said that wrong. What habit can you adopt to just enrich your life? And there's so many things you can do. Like, life is, even though life is limited, it can also be limitless at the same time, because there's so much you can do with the time you have. It is, man, it's joy. We're privileged to be alive, man. Like, seriously, and we take that for granted every single day. We truly do. And even myself, I do that. We just need to stop. Be grateful for what we have, but also show gratitude, staying humble. And it is okay to wanting more out of life. So whatever habit you need to pick up, to help yourself grow, do that. And if you got to cut some ends, do that. If you got to move, do that. Whatever you got to do to find that habit to help you enrich your life, do that. And the world will be a happier place. Why is there a doorbell? I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. But I am back. I am back. I am back. Um, but question number 9. Forgive me if I'm out of breath. It is because I am out of breath. Who would I? Hold on. Let me catch my breath. Okay, I'm good now. Question number 9. Who would I like to work with next year? Well, this year, I guess, technically. And why? It could be someone you look up to. It could be a role model. The same thing. I guess that's the same thing. Or it could be someone you admire from a far distance and they know nothing about you. I'm sorry, guys. I am so much out of breath. I didn't run that fast. Gosh, I need to work on my cardio. But I have another quote for you. You're only as good as the people who you surround yourself with. I don't know if you guys heard this thing. Your friends determine your future. So basically, like I said, you're the product of your environment. So choose who you want to work with wisely. Right? Learn about what they did to get wherever they are. Right? Legal or legal. 2024. I'm kidding. Only do legal things, guys. But learn their struggle. Not necessarily struggle, but their story. How did they get started? Right? And how did they end up where they are? And I'm not saying copying everything they do because everybody's life is different. It's supposed to be different. But try to, grab bits and pieces of their journey and see how it relates to yours and how can you use this to your advantage. Right? Because if you are the smartest person in the room, you're definitely in the wrong room. You do not to be in that room. You need to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you 24/7. 24/7. 24/7. 365. 385. I don't care. Because you cannot learn anything if you're just stuck with below average people. And I'm not, targeting anybody. I'm not saying nobody's below average. Well, I guess I am. Yeah, I am saying that. You don't want to surround yourself with below average people. You want to surround yourself with people who are wanting more in themselves, who are wanting more in themselves, who has ambition, who has work ethic, right? Physically, mentally, academically, geographically. That's not even a word, but I'm going to say it. Just in general. I'm getting tired of these kids downstairs. I'm sorry, y'all. That's why I have no kids. But last question you need to ask yourself. Last but not least, the best for last, some would say. What do I want more in 2024? Happiness is not by choice. No, I said that wrong. Happiness is not by chance, but by choice. Jim Moran. Happiness doesn't happen by accident. It comes by constantly prioritizing activities to increase your fulfillment and impact while reducing your commitment to those that deplete them. So, in other words, you got to set aside time to envision how you want your 2024 to play out. How do you want to spend your time? Truly, genuinely, how do you want to spend your time? If you want to spend it all day playing video games and that makes you happy with life, do that. Do it to the best of your ability. Be the best Fortnite player there is. For to be a CEO of a company, study the greats, read the books, get internships at businesses, law firms. It doesn't have to be paid. It can just be there, just to absorb that knowledge, whatever it may be. What do you want? And after you know what you want, do whatever it takes to get it. Don't let anybody get in your way. I don't care who it is, what it is, or how you get it. Legally. Legally, okay? Legally. Envision it and get it. Man, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I'm not even gonna lie. That was beautiful. And this is probably the longest podcast I've ever done. That was beautiful, man. I really hope you guys learned something and hopefully self-reflect on these questions. Ask yourself this. This could be an everyday thing for you. Ask yourself, what do I want more? How can I better myself? What do I need to let go of? What have I learned? Your life would be so much, I'm not gonna say easier, because life is not easy. But you can make it easier with these questions. And I really hope you guys learned something and you can use it in your everyday life and you can share it with others, you know, because that's what it's meant to do. Share your knowledge. It is very selfish to know everything and not wanting to share, to see others grow. Obviously, you should want to grow yourself as a person, but you should also want those around you to grow. We can all grow, and that's what you want. But yeah, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and my apologies for the craziness and like the end of the episode and me catching out of breath and being disoriented and all over the place. But I hope you got the gist of the message. I feel like I've gave that to you guys, and if I haven't, please let me know. And how can I do better? I love constructive criticism. That is what I'm good at. But anyway, until next time, remember to stay humble and to stay hopeful. And until then, I will catch you in the next episode. Peace out.